Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Ready from Ratings Rise. We're back here at Jacobs Mitsubishi in Newport Richey, Florida, and I have a vehicle right here that I literally have not seen at all until today. This is my first time sharing it with you. It's this vehicle right here. This is actually a 2021 Polestar 1. But before we get into this very modern, seductive, styled vehicle from Polestar, let's talk about what's going on here. So, once upon a time, not too long ago, Volvo had a performance racing arm to their company called Polestar. With the introduction of electrification to vehicles, Volvo wanted to separate Polestar from its main brand, and they were going to make Polestar be all about electrification, which is exactly what they've done with their plan. Now what's interesting with this vehicle, because it's literally called Polestar 1, the first vehicle that they made, this isn't a fully electric vehicle. It's not a BEV. It's actually a plug-in electric hybrid. Very interesting. And it's fascinating because a lot of the technology powering this car can be found on Volvos that we've actually reviewed for you here on Ratings Rides. But this was really a statement. It was a statement to the automotive world saying Polestar was going to be something very unique when it comes to style, propulsion, and everything on the interior. So what I want to find out is this Polestar 1 a supercar? Why don't we go ahead, let's dive into this one and see if we can find out. Right off the bat, from a styling standpoint, it is actually drop dead gorgeous. This is one of the nicest modern styles I've seen in a long time and really makes my heart pitter patter. Now, the front of the business, you're gonna get a lot of Volvo styling in this Polestar 1. That LED daytime running lamp and turn signal, which is called Thor's hammer. Love the way they have nestled in there your LED headlights, and then this pearlescent paint, matte finish paint, pops like a freaking diamond in this hot Florida sun. In the lower corner, you do have a functional corner air intake for the heat exchanger, carbon fiber for its splitter style, and this actually has a carbon fiber reinforced plastic body. So a lot of these panels are CFRP, as they call in the auto industry. But let me know what you think so far about what's going on, especially with that matte white and the carbon fiber trim with the splitter. Now, as we come across that low, wide, low slung nose, you'll see that traditional, this is the style of Polestar with their grille. Vertical slots, it's like a dark chrome finish. You do have a forward facing camera. And then you do have gloss black around the perimeter. It's got a little bit of that concave design that you find on a Volvo, that you find on other Polestars. Down below, we have a massive lower grille opening. You'll actually see the intercooler for our turbocharged engine. And all of this is exposed carbon fiber. Like I said, styling wise, God, it looks good. And this is a 2021 model year vehicle. So it's 4 years old, but yet it looks like it was just made yesterday. Let me know in the comment section what you think about the face of this thing. As you rise up, you got that long hood. The Polestar badge blends in nicely with the finish of this particular one. And then you got a simple, just kind of carved out divots on both sides of the hood to give it some real character. Now, as we come around the bend, we got some big wheels and brakes. 21-inch wheels, machined aluminum, gloss black. Look at those gold. It's almost like it came from Fort Knox, a bar gold Polestar. Massive 6-piston calipers. Rotors are over 15 inches at all 4 corners, not just the front. Cross-drilled, 2-piece, fully ventilated, adaptive suspension. And if you're wondering, well, what's the tire size up front? 275 on the width up front, 30 series sidewall. And I'm actually digging the wheel design. It's a V-spoke design, and with the machined aluminum accents and the gloss black, I think it works well with the white. You got a little bit of indentation around the fender. And then coming down the side, we got a badge here letting you know this is the Polestar 1, in case you forget. And it's got that CFRP body with that optimized carbon fiber layout. From the side, it's got some nice proportions to it. It definitely has a presence. Up top, you got a full glass roof. Love that style. This almost reminds me a little bit of a Lexus LC500 in a way. Just a different interpretation. Gloss black around the window frame openings. And I love the way they do the flush mounted door handles, especially with this paint job. The style all the way down the door, man. It's a good looking car. It really is. And then at the end of the day, you have all-wheel drive as well. But we'll get more to that when we pop open the hood. Now out back, 275s as well, so square 275, 35 series sidewall. I am gonna have to zonk that rear caliper because it's just a floating style caliper painted gold. It should have Brembos all four corners. But like I said, those rotors are over 15 inches in diameter out back. Coming around, swinging around back, this is one of my favorite parts of the style. Look at the way the body line comes off the door and then comes into the rear quarter panel. Jesus, that's sexy, man. That is sexy, and it just has this glow to it in the sun. Almost makes it look not real. Now out back, you do have a trunk. We got active aero that pops up and down. Love that nice slick back glass design. And you can see the Bowers & Wilkins premium sound system through the rear glass. And then dropping it down to ground level, we actually have functional exhaust nicely blended into that lower rear diffuser, carbon fiber, and some gloss black. But I love the way they did the taillights. I'm telling you, they really put some effort and energy into this design. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see if it's got the supercar performance. All right, guys, we got that massive hood popped. Notice how the top of the fender is actually integrated into the hood. We got hood struts. Let me point out some of the crown jewels that's underneath this hood. First of all, you got a beautiful strut tower brace to stiffen up the front end of the vehicle. You'll also notice the adjustments to our Olin suspension that's been designed specifically for the Polestar 1. And it makes sense why they went with Olin's. First of all, Olin's is a very top, high-end, it's like top shelf suspension parts, but it's also Swedish, just like Volvo and Polestar and the Swedish Chef. They're all Swedish. Another little piece of jewelry underneath is this carbon fiber airbox. But where the zonk lies is this. It's like a Nerf football. Not sexy at all. But here's where it gets interesting, and here's where the big question mark of what type of car is this? Is it a supercar? Is it a GT car? Is it a sports car? You're looking at, believe it or not, underneath that Nerf styled engine cover, a 2-liter inline-4 turbocharged engine that also has an electric supercharger. So you have the electric supercharger up front, and you have 2 electric motors on the rear wheels. So one on each wheel gives us a combined total of all-wheel drive performance that's 619 horsepower. I hope you have your listening ears on. 738 pound-feet of torque. It's bolted to an 8-speed automatic transmission with 2 single-speed transmissions for the 2 electric motors out back. 0 to 60 in about 3.5 seconds, quarter mile in 11.5 seconds at 125 miles an hour. The sad news is top speed is governed to 155 miles an hour. It'd be interesting to see what exactly the top speed of this beast would be. MPGs, check this out. 22 in the city, 31 on the highway, and because this is a plug-in electric hybrid, you could drive 52 miles on pure electric power and not even use a drop of gas, and the vehicle weighs 5,184 pounds. Now, very interesting, like I said, kind of reminds me of a Lexus LC500 hybrid. They did make that for a few years. Also, it reminds me of that BMW that, remember, had the mini 3-cylinder engine with the electric assist. Very, very unique vehicle here. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire it up and hear if it makes any good sound. All right, guys, first time ever sitting in a 2021 Polestar 1. Now, unfortunately, Polestar doesn't make the 1 anymore. So I guess that's a good thing and a bad thing because you can't buy a brand new one, but it's so great that we have this one to bring to you. Originally, the MSRP for a Polestar 1 was around $156,000. This one, the asking price is $72,000. So you definitely getting this one let somebody else take a big piece of that depreciation. Plus, like I said, I think rolling into your local Cars and Coffee event, you might be stealing eyes away from the Lambos, or I should say the Lambros, at your local Cars and Coffee event. But let's see what you get when you go Polestar 1 to the door panel. Leather and carbon fiber. Absolutely gorgeous. The real deal thing. You have the Bowers & Wilkins premium sound system with those aluminum speaker grill covers, 2 memory seat settings, leather on the armrest, stitching, and then even the door pocket is in leather. You could put easily, I would say, 4 4-pound bags of Swedish fish in there. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, carbon fiber, the leather, you have your required Nürburgring Nordschleife Twinkie holder. You could put a baker's dozen of Twinkies in here. And then slide on in, you have that familiar 9-inch portrait style infotainment system. It is clearly integrated into the dash. Heated seats, no ventilated seats. That's a zonk. Dual climate control, easy access, just like we've shown you on other Volvo and Polestar products. Going to reverse, there's your backup camera. Super clear. Look at the resolution. That's back from 2021, man. And you could zoom in right into the ground. You got your 360. So really nice how they give you a nice assortment of displays, and everything is super clear. Working your way down, you got a real volume knob. This is the dark crystal for your 8-speed automatic shifter. Gloss black. Slide that open. You got 2 cup holders. This is your Polestar 1 key fob. Not the best looking key fob. Kind of boring, to be honest with you. You have your start stop. You actually twist this. Your drive modes that you can go into. Let me get rid of that. You got your different drive modes. I'll show you that when you come over. Actually, I could show you right here. So you have your all-wheel drive performance mode, hybrid everyday, or power sporty driving. So they got you covered no matter which mode you want to go in, which is nice. And if you have it charged up, you can do pure EV over 50 miles on a single charge. More of that leather. Open it up, not a lot of room. You could put your Rolex in here, a 12 volt, a USB-A, a USB-C, and then these very nicely done leather seats. I like the thin headrests, nice bolstering, full electric assist for the passenger, full electric assist for the driver. I don't know what the hell they're thinking, but you have this panoramic solid glass roof with no sunshade. I feel like a fried freaking egg in here, sunny up. And then you do even have leather on the visors, which is nice. But pretty good. One other thing, you have the gold seat belts. That's worth an extra 5 horsepower. Every horse counts in the horsepower. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I got a leather steering wheel with some paddles behind it I want to show you. Come on over. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. 2 memory seat settings for the driver. Love the carbon fiber sill plate with the Polestar 1 badge. And then you got a pedal box, almost perfect. Aluminum brake pedal, aluminum throttle. I just wish they would give me an aluminum dead pedal. That's a zonk. Come on. Seat controls, easy to get to. Nice lower lumbar. These seats are great, man. They are comfy, but yet so supportive. I'm 6 feet tall. Plenty of headroom with the glass roof in here, and then the steering wheel. 2 different types of leather, perforated and smooth. That horn button is disgusting. Disgustingly boring. So that's a zonk. And then you have gloss black on the switchgear, which you can see all the fingerprints. Somebody, I think, ate some cotton candy or something and then got their fingerprints all over this. You do have paddles to go up and down the 8-speed automatic, and it is a manual tilting and telescoping wheel. You would think it would be power, but they do give you carbon fiber around the gauges. And when it comes to the gauges, you got that 12.3-inch gauge cluster. Obviously, it displays different information depending on what mode you're in, and you do have regen braking, but very simple, straightforward, your tach, your speedometer, and all those other goodies, and a head-up display. But I'm gonna do it, because I know you wanna see it. Let's get into the back seat of this Polestar 1 and see if it's worth breaking my back and my legs to get back there. Let's go see. All right, guys, backseat time, and this sucks. I'll be honest. You don't want somebody as tall as me sitting back here because it just feels miserable. I'm hunched over. My head's hitting the leather-wrapped portion of the ceiling here. I guess I could go like this. This is how I used to sit in my best friend's Camaro back in high school if I ever drew the short stick and had to get in the back seat, because it's just as tight as a 1988 Camaro IROC Z. You do have leather back here. You got the Bowers & Wilkins sound system at 12 volt, and that's about it. I want to get the hell out of here because I feel like I'm about to die back here. But I guess it is possible to fit somebody, just not me. But let's get in the trunk and see how much space there is in this Polestar 1. All right, guys, time to get in the trunk. Now, the fascinating thing is, before I open it, it actually has something in common with the Mazda MX-5 Miata. And what is that thing? Believe it or not, it's actually the trunk. So pops open, you only have 4 cubic feet of space. But the reason why is, look at where they put the battery, especially with the way they showcased it with this clear plexiglass window. This was really a test to kind of let people say what Polestar was about, like show them what Polestar was about and kind of show off what Polestar was capable of. You do have a 12 volt on the driver's side, which is nice. So they got you covered there. But this obviously would get a lot of attention at your local cars and coffee event, that's for sure. But why don't we go ahead? It's one thing to stand by your car, but it's another thing to drive your car. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go on throttle in this Polestar 1. All right, guys, we're inside this Polestar 1. I do have it in power mode, and right away, it's a very, very unique driving experience. Having that long, low-slung hood. I love the frameless side mirrors, and the interior is very, very well appointed. I'm sure you got a big hoot out of what it sounds like because of the 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. But what it's lacking in sound, you're definitely gonna have in that straight line all-wheel drive performance. And that's really where it's gonna come into play. All right, from a dead stop, we're gonna go on throttle here and see how it goes. On throttle, here we go. Wow. Fast shift from that 8-speed automatic. Really gets up the speed nicely. Super smooth. That 8-speed automatic shifts like a hot knife through butter. And the suspension is so dialed in, which I'm not surprised because, like I said, that Olin suspension is top shelf when it comes to suspension systems for cars and motorcycles. But with it being a plug-in hybrid, it actually has a low center of gravity and it handles superbly. I mean, it's not a small car by any means, but yet it handles like it is a small car, which is very, very fascinating. Let's make a quick U-turn here. See how that goes. Wow, look at this. U-turn, I didn't even go off the freaking road. Nice. But visibility out the front is great. You got that head-up display. You're not getting a bunch of pumped-in sound, which I'm okay with. I don't want any pumped-in sound in this car. But you're getting a little whirl of the electric motors. And the 4-cylinder turbo, I mean, it's not the greatest sound, but it's not too overbearing, which is good. But steering feels good, man. They did a good job on the steering feel and the balance. It's there. Crazy for a vehicle that's over 5,000 pounds. But man, does she look good. She looks phenomenal. And it's not like you're gonna see a bunch of these out and about, that's for sure. Let's make another quick U-turn here just to show you how simple this is. Piece of cake. I am gonna have to zonk the fact that there's no ventilated seats, especially with the panoramic glass roof, and especially because there's no shade for it. But the seats are great. There's lots of headroom, lots of shoulder room. But the car actually feels really good when you're driving it on some twisty roads, which is surprising because you would think that it would be too heavy and just be a slug. But it's really, really smooth, very capable, which is great too. On throttle, here we go. You definitely do have plenty of get up and go in this thing. And you can use those paddles to manually shift if you wanted to, which is good as well. And you have your regen braking. Plus you could drive this pure EV. So there's lots of different ways to pilot this Polestar 1, but look at the way it handles. Wow. Very, very impressed with this vehicle. Very impressed. I like how high this center console comes up. You got the carbon fiber. Very quiet in here. Bowers & Wilkins sound system. And it's just one of those cars, like I said, you are not gonna see one of these at your local Cars and Coffee event. If you do, it'll be the one and only one you ever see, and that's it. Nobody is going to be out Polestaring you at a Cars and Coffee event. But getting to the 9-inch infotainment system is well within reach. And the fact that if you wanted to put somebody in the back seat, if they're brave enough or small enough or dumb enough, there are 2 seats back there for a couple extra passengers. But you do attract a lot of attention in this car, and I don't know, it just has this Art Deco exterior style that's just so unique and really was, like I said, a mission statement for Polestar at the time when they launched the Polestar 1. But this is definitely one of the most beautiful modern cars I've ever had the pleasure to get behind the wheel and to bring to you. And that's what I love about the channel, is bringing this variety of all these different vehicles to you, especially something obscure like a Polestar 1. There isn't any one pedal braking operation or anything like that, which I'm glad. I'm not really a big fan of one pedal braking operation. On throttle, here we go. I'm telling you, it's super smooth. It really is more of like a GT car, but it does have some supercar attributes to it, that's for sure. But I'm hoping that this has been a good, quick overall review of the Polestar 1. We're gonna get back to Jacobs Mitsubishi and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, another crazy day here at Jacobs Mitsubishi. We definitely gotta thank Kevin, Daniel, and the rest of the team getting us our very first ever Polestar 1 to bring to you. Now it's your turn. Let me know what you think. Is it a supercar or is it something else? Let me know your ideas in the comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. I'll come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rice family. Gotta get out to Steven Flood. He's sweating. The only thing he needs now is a towel. So we're gonna give him a towel and a big old bag, 10-pound bag of ice to put on his groin. So thank you, Steven, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.